Yo yo yo, this is Sol, also known as Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this team's called Grunt. And this is Pokemon Masters EX. Guys, welcome to part 2 of my Who to Scout for Videos series. This is my analysis or sync pair analysis video for Diantha and Keldeo, or Diantha Special Costume and Keldeo Resolute Form, if you want to have a complete name for them. Now, whatchamacallit, this sync pair is coming out later / tomorrow, and this is a seasonal sync pair. That means there is gonna be a tiered scout. If you want to go for the paid gem route, you can get one surefire copy of her with 20,200 paid gems, or if you want to go the normal route, you can get one sure copy of her by doing several multi-pulls with 36,600 gems. Now, since she's a seasonal scout, there's only a 7% chance of getting a 5-star unit. So if you are, if you're looking for the 10% chance of getting a 5-star unit, it's not in this banner. That's for Pokefair Scouts. If you're looking for a 12% chance of getting a sync pair, that's a Master Fair banner, not a seasonal. Seasonal banners share the same rates as Spotlight Scouts, so might not be the best investment. But in this video, we're going to see if scouting for her is worth it. And with that said, don't forget to give this a thumbs up right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button, because we are doing this analysis videos for every single sync pair that's coming up in the next coming weeks. And one more thing, in this video, starting this one, we will be adding numbers. So DPS, sync nuke damage. Thank you to Jack and Bernard from my Discord server for, computing these, because I really dislike numbers. And you guys wanted numbers, so they offered to do this for me. And with that said, yeah, that's it. Thank you also to all the members of my channel up there. If you want to support me and my channel, help make these videos, you can click on the join button or click on the super chat. You'll be helping out a lot. But just by sharing this and by giving this a thumbs up, you're already helping out a lot. Now, these screenshots took forever to do. It's 4:30 a.m. I'm kind of coughing. Just trying not to cough right now. It's slightly sick, but doing this for you guys, and I'm kind of like expected to do this already. So yeah, that's something that I kind of like, I don't know how to explain anyway guys, so the Diantha is coming out later, followed by as I call them, cosplay units. So cosplay Diantha later / tomorrow, 1 week after cosplay Hilda, 1 week after cosplay Guzma, 1 week after cosplay Jasmine. Now on November 9 until November 23, we will also be having the reruns of the normal Diantha and the Champion Iris, and they are Pokefair Scouts. So all these are seasonals. That is Pokefair, so keep that in mind. And also, those 4 banners will be running for until December 9. There's a long time. If you are a paying player, maybe you want to do just daily discounts, there's a pretty okay chance of getting them if you do daily discounts every single day. So yeah, as long as you're patient enough, you might want to do just daily discounts instead if you are a paying player. So yeah, in this video, we're just talking about Diantha, which let us begin right now. So Diantha Special Costume and Kindle. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention, if you haven't seen my Who to Scout for video, bird's eye view of everyone, link will be in the description where I talk about each one of them. This one will be specifically for Diantha only. So, Diantha Special Costume and Keldeo, if you see the screen, congratulations, you got her. You got her. And then, as we have discussed, let me just play the sync move over here. So Diantha gets Keldeo, which is a mythical Pokemon. Normally, mythical Pokemon are in the main Pokemon games are distributed in events or something special. You cannot get them in normal ways. So she gets a Secret Sword and Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere never misses a 2-move gauge attack. Secret Sword is a 4-move gauge attack and deals damage based on defense rather than the opponent's special defense. Both Aura Sphere and Secret Sword are special attacks, but Secret Sword targets the opponent's defense stat, and Aura Sphere targets the opponent's special defense stat. They're both quite accurate, and Move Gauge Boost charges users' move gauge by 3. Strike Through maximizes, or rather increases your special attack plus 4, maximizes your critical hit rate, and gives you a regen effect. Now the thing about Diantha is that every time you attack the opponent, you lower their defense, their special defense, and their speed stat. And if your stats are not yet maxed, you increase your own defense, your own special defense, and your own speed stat as well. So, nice debuffing unit, as well as pretty tanky, I guess. The more you attack the enemy, the stronger you become, or the tankier you become, because of Armor Leech 9, Mind Leech 9, and Speed Leech 9. Now, these will always work. It's not a 50% chance, it's not 70%, it's not 90%, but 100% chance. Secret Sword, if you get unlucky, might miss, but if you decide to go Aura Sphere, Aura Sphere, Aura Sphere, it's weaker, but at the same time, it never misses. So you can probably just go for, Aura Sphere, target the opponent just using Aura Sphere. Next, we have her Sigrid, which I'm just going to discuss the more important things. At 2 out of 5, you get a move gauge boost and an MP refresh with, move gauge refresh rather, not move gauge boost. Move gauge refresh for move gauge boost. Basically, instead of charging the user's move gauge by 3, you get to charge by 4 every time you use move gauge boost. And at 3 out of 5, you get Aura Sphere Staggering 2, gives you a 30% chance of making the opponent flinch whenever you use Aura Sphere, which is a good thing, because not only you lower the opponent's defense, special defense, and speed, and increase your own defense, special defense, and speed, now you have a chance of making the opponent flinch. Brute Wits, the higher your special defense is, the stronger your sync move is. Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your sync move is. And her built-in sync move multiplier deals damage based on the target's defense instead of special defense, same thing as Secret Sword. And the higher your defense stat is, the stronger the sync move is. So she gets 3 multipliers off the bat, and these 3 should work hand in hand and work together, because again, just attack the opponent 6 times successfully, and you should be able to maximize your defense, special defense, and speed stat. And then if you use a sync move, it will have maximum damage already. Strike Through ramp up 1. If you use Strike Through and get this, your special attack goes up +5 instead of +4. And then Tough Cookie, the higher your defense stat is, the stronger your moves become. That's Secret Sword and Aura Sphere. So if you get Tough Cookie, the more you attack the opponent, the stronger it becomes, because your defense stat just keeps going up, and keeps going up. Very interesting unit. Yeah. A debuffer, a defensive debuffer, and a speed debuffer, and quite tanky as well. Is it worth it to scout? Well, here we go. We are going to analyze her, compare her with the other sync pairs. I did this comparison earlier in my Who to Scout for video. So if you actually check the stats of Cosplay Diantha, Cosplay Hilda, Cosplay Guzma, Cosplay Jasmine, Cosplay Diantha's HP and attacking stat, which is special attack, is the highest out of everyone. Her defense and special defense is quite typical for a tech unit, and speed stat is not bad as well, but again, the more you attack the opponent, the higher your defense, special defense, and speed become. So compared to the other units that are coming this month, Diantha might be one of the best, if not the best. Probably, personally for me, if not one of the best units because of this capability. Guzma is also a fighting type and is a very interesting sync pair, which we will discuss in a bit. But just comparing these four, as you can see over here, we have 3 multipliers on her sync move. And her attack move has Tough Cookie unlock at 3 out of 5, Brute Wits and Inertia unlock at 3 out of 5 as well. And the built-in sync move multiplier, you only need 1 copy for this one. The higher defense is, the stronger your sync move becomes. Now comparing her with Guzma, as you can see over here, Guzma has a lot of multipliers. But then, thing about Guzma, if you look back at here, Guzma actually has the lowest HP, defense, and special defense out of everyone. But low HP for fighting type strikers is pretty normal. And defensive stats are pretty also normal for a striker like this. But then, Guzma's attacks are not accurate. Both of his attacks have a chance of missing the opponent. Dynamic Punch is a 50% accuracy move. But there's some gimmick with him that has something to do with missing the opponent, missing attacks. And that's what makes him powerful. Now, if we compare or we add up the Diantha and Champion Iris and, just add them to the comparison, I think the Diantha, pairs up very well with Champion Iris over here. Just because Champion Iris can, decrease the opponent's attack stat and special attack stat. The Diantha can reduce the opponent's defense, special defense, and speed. If you combine them both, they are like the ultimate debuffing unit. And yeah, the Champion Iris also has a sync move multiplier. The lower the opponent's attack, or the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger the sync move damage. Together with Devastation, the lower the opponent's special attack, the lower the opponent's attack stat with Pecking Order. So, very, very, very interesting. Champion Iris multipliers depend on how debuffed the opponent is. Meanwhile, the Diantha's multipliers depend on how buffed you are. In terms of a long battle, for example, like comparing using in Battle Villa, where there are several rows of opponents, every single time you want to sync with Champion Iris, you have to debuff the opponents again and again and again. For if you defeat that opponent using a sync move, the multiplier applies. But for the next opponent, you have to debuff them again before the multipliers will apply. The Diantha, on the other hand, since you're buffing yourself, and you don't have to, rely on the opponent's debuffs, the buffs are permanent so as long as your stats remain high. So in terms of sync nuke damage, in terms of attacking the opponent, the Diantha is much better compared to Champion Iris, but combine them both, the Diantha makes, or rather the two of them make one heck of a nice debuffing combo. And so we're done with these 5. I did not include Jasmine in here because Jasmine does not exactly have any multipliers. But now let us compare the Diantha with the other fighting types. We have Cosplay Diantha versus Bay versus Corinna versus Spring May versus Wally. Did not add the others because, either they're not fighting types or they do not have an expanded sync grid or stuff. So as you can see over here, the Diantha again has the highest special attack and has the highest special defense, and has the highest speed out of everyone. Wally has the lowest HP, meanwhile Spring May has the highest HP stat. Corinna, 5-star, has the highest attack stat. And Bay has the lowest attack stat. Corinna has the highest defense, lowest special attack. And yeah, interesting, but again, stats mean nothing unless you can probably show them off with the, whatchamacallit, with the multipliers. So if we compare the multipliers over here, Bay has critical strike 3, which applies to both attack and sync move. She gets inertia at 3 out of 5. And Bay, Corinna, May, and Wally are all strikers. Diantha is a tech sync pair. If you make her 6-star EX, she can only attack one opponent. Bay, Corinna, May, and Wally will attack all opponents, will hit all opponents when they use a sync move. So take note of that. Take note of that. Corinna does not have a sync move multiplier. May does not, or Spring May does not have sync move multiplier. Wally over here has Cakewalk. The lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger the sync move damage. She also gets 2 critical strike 1, which I think it's impossible to get all 3. Cakewalk, critical strike 1, and another critical strike 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Diantha, again, her multipliers are very easy to set up compared to the others. Well, Bay's sync move multipliers are quite easy to set up as well. Critical strike 3 is almost instantaneous because she can raise her critical hit rate. Now you only need to use X speed to raise your speed stat for inertia. But Diantha is pretty, the way you can use your sync move is you don't need to charge up at all. You just use your trainer move for the very first turn, and then you just use either Aura Sphere or Secret Sword 6 times, and your stats are max. And your sync move multipliers are max, which is awesome. And so, now let's talk about numbers. Now, a disclaimer over here first. These are some of the things that I was told to tell you guys. These sync pairs will be considered at max level, at 5 out of 5, and at 6-star EX. If they do not have 6-star EX, they will be 5-star stats, 20 out of 20. All grid or all sync grid tiles will be filled. I'm not exactly sure how this goes. Like every single sync grid tile. All units will have critical strike 2 lucky skill. And then no gears and theme skill buffs will be included. The maximum possible master passive buff will be included. There's no master sync pair here, so I'm gonna ignore that. All stats are at +6 and critical hit rate maximum. All enemy stats are -6, so -6 speed, -6 attack, -6 defense, -6 accuracy, blah 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 for the opponent. All possible buffs from grid passives and typings will be active. So if we need the weather, there's no weather here, no need, no terrain needed. The final result for the damage numbers will be based off the move with the highest raw power. So for Diantha, we're talking about Sacred Sword or Secret Sword. For Bay, Meteor Assault. For Corinna, I think it's Close Combat, if I'm not mistaken. May, High Jump Kick. Wally, I'm not sure if it's Close Combat or Focus Blast or something. Whichever is more powerful, that is what move that we're gonna consider. And then, super effective and super effective plus next attack is active. So if imagine that they all have the super effective plus next effect active. So red gave them each one super effective plus next. All attacks will be critical hits. Unity multipliers will be included, and your move gauge is max just in case power flux. So with that said, these are the damages that we get. Diantha can peak with a maximum DPS for her attacks moves 2,404,242. Honestly, I don't know how this is computed and how the damage, you know, hits, but just probably put in mind that who can hit the hardest among each one. Bei is surprisingly the weakest at 2,186,125. Corina hits the hardest for her attacks, 2,474,728. Now, this is probably considering Power Reserves 5 already, where your HP is probably very low, that you're able to land the maximum damage. Spring May, 2,353,374. And Wally, a little bit stronger than Diantha, surprisingly, at 2,444,418. But for the sync move damage, just look at how much more damage Diantha can do compared to the others. Diantha reaches 20 million. Meanwhile, Bei is the second highest at, thank you for subbing, at 8 million. And, you know, it's very far. Spring May does not exactly have any sync move multipliers, same as Corina with no sync move multipliers. So they peak at 2 million something. And Wally at 4 million something. But Diantha, wow, 20 million something. Very far. Double the sync nuke damage of Bei. But again, keep in mind that she is a tech unit. And when you use a sync move, you only get to hit one opponent. Bei, Corina, Spring May, and Wally can hit all opponents when you use a sync move. Thank you for subbing. And then, you know, we have let's remove Corina from the from this because she does not exactly have a sync move multiplier. Let's talk about another sync pair, which is Solgaleo. Solgaleo has more multipliers than Corina, so let's talk about that. He's a steel type. We have Brain Teaser. I think Brain Teaser is the lower the opponent's special defense, the stronger the damage. Power Reserves 5. When you're low on HP, your attacks get more powerful. Super duper effective too when the opponent is weak, fighting or steel. But we're talking about fighting type moves right now. Your attacks get more powerful. And we add this to the equation. Solgaleo gets the highest DPS at 2,726,419 because of the multiple attack move multipliers. Meanwhile, the sync move damage, we're gonna ignore that because it's a steel type move. But still, comparing that, Diantha still very, very far. 20 million. 616,768. So this depends on what you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on attacking everyone, or do you want to focus on just attacking one sync pair? But there's one sync pair that's gonna be introduced to us soon, and it's also a fighting type, and that's Guzma, or Cosplay Guzma. Cosplay Guzma has a lot of multipliers, even more than Diantha. We got Dynamic Punch, Confusion Synergy 1. If the opponent's confused, your Dynamic Punch gets stronger. You get Tenacity 3. And this is weird. You have to miss an attack. If you miss, you get a physical moves up next. Now, if I remember right, if I read correctly, every single time physical moves plus next effect triggers, it like increases your damage times 40%. 40% stronger damage. I think it's 40% or 20%. I think it's 40%. And you can stack the physical moves up next either 10 times or 20 times, although I'm not sure how you're able to do that. Probably soon we'll be able to increase that. Probably it's a new multiplier. Probably there's gonna be a special moves up next in the future. And then At 3 out of 5, you get another Tenacity 1 for his passive, for his Sync Grid, which if you miss an attack, Tenacity 3 plus Tenacity 1 will give you plus 4 for physical moves up next. Get super effective or super duper effective 1 and a super effective plus next. If you are able to defeat the opponent using Guzma, you will get the super effective up next effect. Fuzzy Strike 5 if the opponent is confused, you deal more damage. You deal 50%, something like that, more damage when you use a sync move. Haymaker, the higher your attack stat, the stronger your sync move damage is. We just talk about physical moves up next. And then there's super effective up next, which we also talk about. And granted, Guzma has like the highest multipliers I've ever seen in a striker. And there's one disclaimer also over here. We do not know how physical moves up next effect works at this point. Will this only affect attack moves, or will it also affect sync moves? I think it will also affect sync moves, but you know, time will tell. Because we thought that Anniversary Ends trainer move will affect every single one of our party, and it did not happen. There's a lizard on my table. What the heck, lizard? What the heck, lizard? Hello, lizard. Anyway, it's staring at me. What the heck? Yeah. So, if we consider all of that, we get a crazy DPS of Guzma at 11,583,200 and sync nuke damage. Again, taking note that if the physical moves up next effect also happens for sync moves, we can reach up to 31,000 or 31,727,900 sync nuke damage. I think this is the highest I have seen in any sync pair to date. Highest attack move damage, highest sync move damage. Guzma is crazy, but again, we don't have a confirmation of how this works yet. But again, Guzma is pretty gimmicky. You have to miss a couple of moves in order to get the multipliers active and so on and so forth. But Guzma will not be around until 2 or 3 more weeks. So if you're willing to wait for Guzma, you know, Diantha will be staying until December. So yeah, if you're willing, I'm gonna scout for Guzma anyway, and you guys might want to see how I feature Guzma versus Diantha since I'm also scouting for her. And you know, you might want to decide there if you want to get Diantha on day 1 though. I hope this video will help you decide. But anyway, that is kind of like that kind of concludes my analysis on this. But again, don't let me force you into scouting for anyone. Again, choose your favorites over who's the strongest, who's the most ideal unit out of this update. Again, you may also want to skip. I heard a lot of you want to skip on these units. So that might be a nice idea as well, because December, January, February, we will also get seasonals, and we might get a Master Fair next month because DNA has a record of releasing new Master Fairs every 3 months. And I think December is the 3rd month. It's kind of like aligns with the 3-month thing of DNA. Now, if you're scouting, good luck. Wish me luck as well, and hope I wake up in time. Yeah. That's it. Diantha tomorrow. Hilda the week after, Guzma the week after Hilda, Jasmine the week after Guzma, and the normal Diantha and Champion Iris on November 9. Again, these two are Pokefair Scouts, 10% chance of getting a 5-star, 1.5% chance of getting each one of them. Meanwhile, 7% chance of a 5-star for the rest of the banners, and a 2% chance of getting the units. Best of luck to everyone. This concludes my sync pair analysis of the Diantha and Keldeo. I hope you enjoyed this. Give this a thumbs up once again. Subscribe if you haven't, because I'm doing each one in the next coming days. And with that said, thank you once again to all the members of my channel. Please click on the join button and support my channel. And please click on the like button, because every single like helps us with the YouTube algorithm. At 10k subs, we will be doing a giveaway from the Pokemon Center. And my members who have been staying with me for 1 year will receive a gift from me, excluding the giveaway. So with that said, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed me ramble. And stay tuned, I will be live scouting for the Diantha and Keldeo later. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, your artist Team Skull Grunt. And thank you for watching. Right.